From Collingswood High School, Channel 5, the Gloucester County Educational Network presents Colonial Conference Football. Tonight, the Gateway Gators against the Panthers of Collingswood. Hello, everybody. I'm Marc Narducci along with Shawn Leary here. Two teams that got shut out in their opening game. Shawn, this is a big one because both of them are trying to get some momentum.
Yeah, and last week both teams really struggled on the offensive side of the ball, and what they want to do is just move the chains. It's the little things, getting back to the fundamentals, and don't let your spirit be broken from last week. This week's a new week, and I'm sure the coaches talked to the kids about that, of just staying positive and just doing little things on offense to get the ball moving and gain a little bit of confidence.
And both teams have tough games next week. We'll get into that as the game goes on. John Leamy, a great leader for Gateway. Amir Richardson, a breakaway back for Collingswood. We'll be back for the opening kickoff right after this timeout. Tackled inside the 30. At the 28-yard line for the Panthers of Collingswood. Both teams like to run the ball. Gateway only 5 attempted passes last week. Against Haddonfield. In the shotgun is Hamrick, the quarterback. And Hamrick going deep to B.J. Jones, and he catches it and tackles just inside the 40-yard line. B.J. Jones from Hamrick for the completion. 32 yards. Down to the 40-yard line. So Collingswood right away shows an offense that really opens it up a little bit. Again, the Panthers like to live by the run. Hamrick again in the shotgun. Fumble. And the Panthers will fall on it. That'll be -5, so it'll be 2nd and 15 from the 45.
Yeah, those are the mistakes, Mark, really, that you don't want to have for a team that has to be struggling with its confidence a little bit. Getting shut out last week, and you have a problem like this where the ball just you lose a little bit of focus. This is a nice toss by Hamrick. See Jones go up and get it. Those are the types of plays right there that if you're able to get a little separation from the cornerback, Jones is a big kid.
2nd and 14, and there's motion on Collingswood, and the Panthers will be assessed 5 more yards.
And again, when you get yourself backed up and you get in these 2nd and long situations, it becomes a huge problem for an offense that doesn't eat up huge yards and didn't last week. Again, we're trying to talk about that momentum, the confidence that both teams want to build on in this game. Going into next week, they have some pretty tough games. So you want to really just negate those type of mistakes, especially early in the game, because those things could kind of snowball and you have big problems. Now you put yourself in a shotgun situation, and Gateway can pin its ears back and go after the quarterback.
Well, Hamrick has been they snap it right to Richardson. Richardson, and again, he is dropped for a loss. Outstanding play by Matt Lewis, the nose guard.
Let's see about the flag here. This would be devastating to Gateway if they got called for a face mask.
So loss of 5 on the play by Lewis, and as you see, the officials are conferring. Holding on Collingswood. And a personal foul on Gateway. The original line of scrimmage was the 49 of Gateway. The play lost 5. Bob Barikian of Collingswood, the veteran coach, inducted into the South Jersey Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and Bob's a guy who stays involved with football in South Jersey. So I think they're going to they're going to back him up and then
do the personal foul, right.
So what it's going to boil down to.
So the ball is at the original line of scrimmage. So it's 2nd and 19 from the 49 again because it was a loss of 5.
Loss of 5. They go
went back 10 and the 15 for the personal foul. By the way, our referee Ken Gillespie, umpire Mike Bartram, linesman Doug Johnston, line judge Mike Prospacco, back judge Bill Riff, and the clock operator Joe Santamuro. So again, Hamrick, 2nd and 19. Rolls to give himself some time, and he is hammered that time by number 74, Gareth Jones.
What a nice play by Jones. Watch him here now. He's going to try to contain to the outside. He's got those big long arms. He's going to stretch out. Pull Hamrick down. What an outstanding job by Jones. Incredible athletic move that time, and it was really just beating his man upfield, extending the arm.
So that was -9, so it'll be, or -8, 3rd and 27 from the 43. So Gateway, which gave up the big play early, has really stiffened here. Hamrick, he has Richardson, and he drops the ball. Led him a little bit, but Richardson, an all-conference player last year on defense, that's a play he makes.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, that one he should have had. That ball was right there for him. And you know what? I think he would have split the defenders and maybe gone the distance on that one and just maybe lost a little bit of his concentration, maybe looked up, peeked to see who might have been coming or where he was going to go with the football. And those are, the small things that hampered both of these teams, those types of plays in the first week.
Pair of threes, Richardson punting, the sophomore Nick Rudder back. Collingswood hoping it takes a bounce. It goes over there, and Brian Carter will down it on the 15-yard line for Gateway.
Gateway comes into this game, Mark, going up against Haddonfield last week, and Haddonfield who also beat Woodbury in week 2. Looks like it has a strong team under Coach Delano.
Gateway starting quarterbacks John Leamy, the fullback Jake Dominy, running backs Aquan Brown, Nick Rudder, John Eastlick, wide receiver Joe Sesko, the offensive line Brian Baldwin, Steve Hart, Keith Cornish, David Galloway, and John Miller.
Yeah, they got 3 seniors on that offensive line that they start there. You see Leamy, 6 foot, 190 pounds. We'll talk about him as this game goes. Well, one key component they're missing is that fullback, and their ball's on the ground.
Collingswood gets it. So recovering it is Eric Cortez, and at Collingswood will now have the ball at the Gateway 17. By the way, a number change. We said Gareth Jones. John Miller actually is wearing number 74, and he was the one with the big sack. So 1st and 10 Panthers, golden opportunity here. Hamrick under center this time. And Brian Carter gets the handoff, and he is stuffed right away. First guy there, 69, David Galloway, the 5'8", 160-pound junior. There's a good look at him. Gain of 1 that time, so it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 16.
He just does a good job of coming up and filling the hole, nowhere to go for the ball carrier, and that's what you want to do as a defensive linebacker. You want to make sure you come up, fill the hole, make sure that You don't give that running back a crease.
Hamrick in the shotgun. Gateway showing blitz. Hamrick to Jones on the slant, and he's down to about the 1 yard line. B.J. Jones.
Again, that's on B.J. Jones. Great target at 6'3". See a quick slant on him, and he's going to get a pass right into his rib cage. Nice job by Hamrick, just getting back there, throwing off his back foot.
Joe Sesko made the tackle. Now Collingswood first and goal from inside the 1, actually. Hamrick goes in for the touchdown. He initially bobbled the snap, kept the snap there, and goes in for Collingswood's first score of the year.
And he's talking to his center a little bit. And nice job by Hamrick, a couple of plays right in a row where he uses both his arm and that time his legs to get into the end zone. You know, Hamrick's a kid that likes to scramble outside the pocket, but you know, he's not afraid to get in the middle of the field. He's not a real big kid. And one of the things he worked on in the off season was trying to get into the weight room. He was admittedly not the strongest kid.
And Mario Fernandez on the kick, and it's good.
He's admittedly not the strongest kid, but you know, he's really worked in the offseason on building his strength, and you really need that, and you see that along the goal line. That's where you use those legs. You just power yourself into the end zone on those short yardage situations, and it gives the coach confidence into calling his number because he put the work into it during the offseason.
So with 7:37 left here in the first quarter, there you see it. Collingswood leading Gateway 7-0. Shawn, as we get a look at this, watch how he bobbles this at first. Has the presence of mind to...
Yeah, right there. Just kind of slipped. So what he does is he's going to follow his center. Plenty of space. And he's able to plunge himself into the end zone. What I really think they were going to try to do there, it looked like they might have tried to get Amir Richardson to the outside, and as that snap was bobbled by Hamrick, he just decides this play is breaking down, I'm going straight ahead. And that's a heady play of not going with the play, knowing where you are on the field, and that's being smart. Sometimes you really don't want to, you see Coach Mike Karp there from Gateway, you don't want to make a mistake near the goal line. And I think, you know, what he was able to do there was not only plunge himself in the end zone, but be a real leader, be smart with the football. And again, that's when you get a lot of confidence from the coach and the coaching staff, is when you make a play like that and use your head.
3-play, 17-yard drive. The big play, the 15-yard reception from B.J. Jones that put the ball inside the 1. Fernandez now kicks off. Leamy and Rudder are deep. It'll be Rudder from the 6. Oh, and he is absolutely leveled. Number 5, Tony Vega, the first guy in there.
Yeah, that was a pop. We heard that from up here. You see the temperature at 75 degrees. It's not too windy. Nice, clear night here in Collingswood. And again, Mark, with that play from Hamrick, you know, what you really like about it is when that play's breaking down, you know, it's a timing play. You want to make sure you get that pitch into Richardson's hands. And he knew he wasn't going to be able to do that in time, and that's where a mistake could have been made.
1st and 10 from the 18 for the Gators. Rudder, he'll get close to the 20. Nice job that time by 55. Yeah. Taylor Venazzi that time on the tackle.
Yeah, and no one touched Venazzi. I mean, he's just sitting there waiting for the ball carrier.
So that'll be 2nd and 8 from the 20. Collingswood last week had just 132 yards of offense from scrimmage in the 27-0 loss to Audubon. Gateway just 29 yards against a very, very good Haddonfield team.
Razzi's name sounds familiar. His grandfather was a club champion at Tavistock a few times in Haddonfield.
Leamy on the pitch.
Good run to the outside, going to pick up some positive yards, and we talked about that in the open. It's just being able to move the chains and do some positive things, get the fundamentals down. And really, watch the pitch here. Going to wait till the last possible second so you draw that defender in. Just get it out that time. Good pitch. Nice block by Rudder on the outside as well. DeCleater along the sideline on another block, and first down Gateway.
1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Option, Leamy. And again, an outstanding job that time by Venazzi that time as he gets him. And that'll be a loss of 2 yards.
Yeah. Venazzi's had a hamstring injury that's plagued him over the last couple of years he's had to deal with. But this is a kid, it's a 3-sport star. As I mentioned, he's a golfer, likes to do some different things, so you get the finesse of the golf game combined with the physical play of football. And, you know, it's an odd combination. We've talked about that over the years, some of these football players playing golf during the springtime, but he's just a good all-around athlete here at Collingswood.
Up the middle that time to Dominy, the fullback, and he gets good yardage over the 45 to about the 47. Make that the 46.
Dive play right here with the fullback, just going to go right up the middle. Shortest distance between 2 points straight ahead. Dominy going to break that arm tackle. Good job by the interior of that offensive line. And this is a kid who's not only
3rd and 8 from the 46. By the way, that number 30 is Aquan Brown. He changed his uniform number. Again, Dominy over the 50, inside to Collingswood territory. That's going to be close depending on the spot.
Well, I like what Carp's done here. You're going to have a 4th and short, but Dominy fumbled on that first play of the game, Mark, and now you've gone back to him 2 straight plays here and a nice gains by the young man. He's not only a real good football player, he's also a very smart kid going to school for astrophysics and wants to be an astronomer. He wants to go to Brown, Duke, Penn State, or MIT. Some lofty goals for Dominy.
4th and 1 from the 49 of Collingswood. Don't be surprised if Leamy keeps this one himself. He's an outstanding runner. And we have a flag.
I think Carp's just calling timeout here. He wants
Timeout.
to talk about this one.
So with 4:24 left in the first quarter, Collingswood holding a 7-0 lead on Gateway. Shawn, we talked in the opening about why this is such an important game because both of these teams, I mean, murderous early season schedules. I mean, these guys, Gateway, have to take on Paulsboro next week, and Collingswood takes on West Deptford, the 2 returning division champions in the Colonial Conference.
Right, and you know, conceivably these teams, whoever loses this game, could go to 0-3, and I don't want to say that neither of these teams have a shot against West Deptford nor Paulsboro, but they're certainly going to be the underdog going into both those games. You see in 2008, Gateway was 4-6. A little change of head coach is Marc Deal, who led Gateway for a few years, went over to Delsey now as an assistant coach, and Mike Carp comes in.
Oh, by the way, there's a team that can score a few, right, Delsey?
Yeah, they got a couple athletes and a couple of players in the line that you probably could count on once in a while. That Delsey team and Sal Marquez is, in my opinion, the real standard of excellence for football in this area.
4th and 1. Leamy keeps it. Pitches out to Rudder. He's got the first down and much more. Rudder taken down by Jones.
Late flag comes
to
in
about
as
the
well.
32-yard line, and we, as you said, a late flag.
Might have been a late hit. I think they're going to get one of the Gateway players for a late block. Classy thing too. You don't see much from high school players, but I think Brian Baldwin, number 55. Another a personal foul. Personal foul on Collingswood. So
the ball was about at the 32. If you go 15 more yards, this should take it to the 17-yard line. give Rudder a 17-yard gain.
So I thought it was classy because Baldwin turns to a Collingswood player. And Brian Baldwin's one of the players in the offensive line for Gateway. He turns to a Collingswood player and kind of shows him a hand like, you know, it's all right, I know you didn't mean to hit me late. So not only wasn't he the one that had the late hit, but he actually almost apologizing for the Collingswood players, you know, saying
So,
we know it didn't mean to do that. You don't see that much in high school football. Classy thing from Baldwin.
1st and 10 from the 17. Domini. No, it's Rudder. Rudder going for the end zone. A touchdown. 17 yards, Nick Rudder.
Executed perfectly by the Gators. The fake handoff up the middle with Domini. What he did in the middle of the field allows that Collingswood defense to collapse on him because they were anxious to try and get at him after he gained some chunks of yards during this possession. And Rudder comes along the outside. But that was an excellent play fake for Gateway.
John Eastlack will try the extra point. Leary on the hold. And it's no good.
That could be coming large in this game. Watch this play fake.
Which faked out the announcer, by the way.
Yeah, Domini right up the middle. Let's see the Collingswood defense collapse on it, and then Rudder's going to have that burst to the outside. With good wheels, he's able to turn on the jets, get himself into the end zone. You know, it's just interesting. Now, I'm not saying that Pat Landis, who's an assistant coach now with Gateway, who came from Deptford, Mark, I'm not saying he's the one that taught that play fake. But if you remember, Pat Landis was on the coaching staff when Sheldon Johnson was quarterbacking for Deptford, and Sheldon Johnson had the best play fake that I had seen at the high school level, or that I've ever seen at the high school level. And you see here with that play fake from Leary executed perfectly.
Shawn, that's seven play, 82-yard drive.
They're able to use the whole field there too, and that's something, again, as a coach, you want not just one or two types of plays to work for you. You want to be able to do some different things and keep the defense guessing. On that drive, they had the success of having Domini go up the middle from that fullback spot, but also Rudder and Brown having success on the outside. They were aided by the personal foul that tacked on 15 yards doing that drive, but a lot of things worked well for the Gators.
Rudder, just a sophomore, too. 5'5", 135 pounds. Unofficially, Shawn, already 4 carries for 31 yards.
Yeah, you have to like this sophomore. He's a baseball player as well. He's a good baseball player. He's got great hands. He's able to catch the ball to the backfield, and I think he's going to be a gnat for a lot of the Colonial Conference opponents this year.
So again, 2 teams that were shut out opening week have been showing us a lot of offense here in this first quarter.
And what I liked about Rudder is, you know, he thought he was small. He was 115 pounds. He put on 20 pounds in the offseason to bulk up to that 135, 140.
And not only does he score, but he takes the kick. And that's Richardson from the 23. Richardson breaks a tackle. He's going out to the outside. He's got some room. Amir Richardson being chased and finally tackled inside the 35 of Gateway.
This kid's just a special athlete, Amir Richardson. We talked about him, and you mentioned him in the open, Mark, and he's a playmaker. You know, he's a guy that you want to contain and make sure he can't use those cutbacks in the open field and fool defenders, because he can also run around you as well, as we saw on that kickoff return.
44-yard return, excuse me, Shawn. It'll be Collingswood, 1st and 10 from the 33 of Gateway. Ryan Jones, and he is smashed by Miller. John Miller, number 74, 6'5", 220-pound senior. Lost a 1 on the play.
I asked him what he likes to do in his spare time. He says, I like to eat and play basketball and keep eating. I guess that's the key to being 6'5", is just continue eating. Maybe you don't grow horizontally. He's grown vertically. Big kid.
2nd and 11 from the 34. Hamrick still in the gun. They show a little option there. Hamrick keeps it. He gets across the 30. And he's tackled by Aquan Brown that time. Down to the 29-yard line, a gain of 5. So it'll be 3rd and 6 from the 29. Hamrick also an outstanding wrestler for this Collingswood program, which, remember, Shawn, a couple of years ago beat Paulsboro not once but twice in the season in wrestling. Remember, Jones has been very dangerous with the 2 receptions so far. He's in the slot. Hamrick, a little option that time to Richardson, and Gateway snuffs it out as making the tackle was John Eastlack that time.
Seen a couple times they've tried to test Miller, and Miller has spoiled their plans here. You see Leamy coming in, but Miller and company not allowing Collingswood to get to the outside. Now they're forcing Collingswood into a timeout here on 4th down. They want to talk about this play. I don't think that they'll have a elect to go for a field goal. They certainly won't punt from this area. They'll go for it on 4th, and it looks like about 6 or 7.
4th and 7, it will be from the 30, Shawn. Now remember, Collingswood's got revenge on its mind because last year, Gateway beat the Panthers 28-7. I've said this before, Shawn. I thought last year's Gateway team to get 4 wins with a team with not much depth, I thought Marc Deal in his final season did an outstanding job getting 4 wins out of that team and really playing competitively in a lot of other games. And Leamy ran for touchdowns of 71 and 69 yards last year, gained 220 yards against the Panthers. So you know that they came into this game saying we've got to stop him running.
Yeah, and I know Coach Baricking came up with a game plan to focus a little bit on Leamy.
Let's go, Tony.
But as we've seen here, Dominy and Rudder were the real threats on that last possession.
John Inge, number 6, is in the game for Collingswood. He's out wide left. Jones is in the slot. Richardson gets the handoff, and he breaks a tackle, and Richardson will get the first down to the 20, gain of 10.
What an outstanding run by Richardson. Watch him here as he's going to fight off this first tackle and just spins right through it. And you spin through there and then just didn't even skip a beat. Was able to stay in full stride, knowing that he had to get to a certain spot. He stretches out, and he already had the first down, but still an effort to stretch out to ensure that they were going to get the first down.
Yeah.
Great athletic play by Richardson.
And a great block by B.J. Jones. You saw it on the replay, number 13 for Collingswood. So 1st and 10 for the Panthers, just outside the 20. Hamrick going to Jones, and he overthrows that. On the coverage that time was Joe Sesko, and he was with him step for step.
New look for this Collingswood team, coming out throwing the football, opened up the offense a little bit, and you like to see that now from some of these teams. I mean, there's, Washington Township now going with the spread offense. There's a lot of teams now going with the spread offense, opening it up. These kids have matured a little earlier than what we've seen in years past, and now they're able to really toss the ball around. Coaches have really picked up on that.
2nd and 10. Richardson takes the handoff. Oh, and it looks like he slipped that time inside the 15-yard line. As getting there was Brian Baldwin, number 55, but Richardson slipped, gains 5, so it'll be 3rd and 5 from the 15.
Slip might even have fell over a Gateway player's legs, got tripped up, but nice job by that offensive line, a huge hole in the middle of the field. And that Gateway defense softened up just a tad now with being able to go inside outside with some of these runners.
3rd and 5. Richardson again. And a great job by Gateway's number 69, David Galloway, as he stuffs him for it looks like no gain.
Hey, Galloway's just going to come in, shed his block, put a couple of shoulder pads on the runner, just stands Richardson up. Took him right off his feet. Nice job.
5 seconds left here in the first quarter, and it's running down, and that's it. So at the end of one in an entertaining first quarter, it's Collingswood 7 and Gateway 6. Fourth and 5 from the 15 for Collingswood. Hamrick to Jones. Jones has the first down as he's inside the 5-yard line. Tackled by Sesko that time.
I'm thoroughly impressed with what Hamrick's done here throwing the ball, and that ball's placed beautifully where the receiver is able to turn upfield, and that's on that play, that's so important of being able to not only put the ball in the hands, but allow the ball carrier or the receiver to be able to turn upfield in time before the defender to come over and make the tackle and stop him short of the first down. So
Gain of 11, job. First and goal from the 4. Bryant Carter and Miller stacks him up, and it should be no gain that time as big John Miller has been a force on defense, number 74, Shawn.
Yeah, he just gets stood up here. Watch Carter. Watch him just keep his legs moving. Look at him. Look at the feet. Just keep it on moving. Keep on moving. And although Miller was able to bring him down, didn't lose any yardage, I don't think, on that play. And that was because he just kept those legs moving, especially down this goal line. Every yard, every inch counts, and it allows the coach to call different plays.
There was no gain that time. Richardson, he's in for 4 yards out, and Collingswood expands the lead. 13-6 as Richardson scores on a 4-yard run.
And Richardson just has a nose for the end zone, and that time he could have broke to the outside, but he decides to cut back into the middle of the field. Great vision for the running back. We talked about how he was stopped last week, but he comes back this week probably with a little chip on his shoulder.
Fernandez will try the extra point. And it is good. Outstanding job by Hamrick, the holder that time, getting that low snap, Shawn.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been just a little bit behind him. He's able to get it down in time.
So with 10:52 left in the second quarter, Collingswood now leading by a score of 14-6.
So Gateway will get its chance to answer that Collingswood drive. We talked about both offenses struggling in that first game. Well, going back to the fundamentals, both coaching staffs doing a real good job of calling some different plays, and I like what Collingswood has done with using Hamrick's throwing ability to move it through the air, and Gateway has mixed it up on the ground by using Rudder Dominy. And we haven't even had a chance yet to really see Leamy use his legs, but you always have that in your back pocket as well. So Gateway opening up its offense, Collingswood opening up its offense as well. We got 20 points.
10-play, 33-yard drive that time. Richardson with the touchdown. And look how they're lining up. Leamy behind Rudder. Now they split. Yep, we have a flag. Offsides on Collingswood.
Go, Reese. Come on.
Take a good look at Coach Barickian there.
All right, Coach Barickian entered the season 119, 119, and 1.
All right, let's go.
Looking to even that record again tonight. Of course, he's a Sterling graduate, Shawn, and Sterling and Collingswood are Thanksgiving rivals, so that's always spirited.
always have a little spot in his heart for Sterling, but he's a Collingswood guy.
His son's a former quarterback for Sterling as well. That was always interesting when those two teams would go at it on Thanksgiving. So it's back now to the 35. Leamy from the 18. And Collingswood's done a great job on special teams. That time up there was Taylor Venazzi, and we've called his name a few times.
Yeah, Maurice Butler was also in on that play. Yeah, they have done a real nice job of making sure that Rudder nor Leamy have any room to break it to the outside. Good job on special teams by this Panther squad.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 32 for the Gators. Leamy pitches to Rudder. And B.J. Jones is there along with Tony Vega.
Yeah, it's just staying with your assignment, making sure that you don't get sucked in if you're on that outside, and that's where the problems can occur if you're a defensive player, and sometimes you over pursue on the play and you have somebody like Rudder who's going to be able to get to the outside on you.
That was a gain of 2, so 2nd and 8 from the 34 for the Gators, who trailed this one 14-6. Leamy keeps it. Leamy's got some room across the 40.
Amir!
And Hamrick tackles him, the one quarterback to another. That's all the way out to the 48-yard line, gain of 14.
This is where you're going to see Leamy's speed here. Watch him turn it on. Great fake to Domini. You see the defensive end bite on the play, and there's a lot of space. Watch him turn it on right here. He's just going to turn it into another gear and get to the outside, able to pick up the first down. And you can see why Leamy had success against this Collingswood team. He's a quarterback with great wheels.
Pretty nice tackle by Hamrick. 1st and 10 from the 48. Domini crosses the 50. He's close to the 45-yard line. Tackled inside there by Norm Williams, number 33. Gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 46 of Collingswood.
Come on, Amir, man. Let's go, buddy. Come on, Eric.
Leamy. Boy, the deception is so good, and Collingswood doing a good job holding its ground that time.
Yeah, and what happened there is that play just developed way too slow. It's what you want with this deception is you want to make sure that you're able to, and that's what made that touchdown so effective, is everything happened at a pretty quick pace. So once the defender makes that one step and they've committed, they've already been beaten. That time, play developed a little too slow, and Leamy was undecided exactly whether he wanted to pitch it. It didn't work.
Gain of 3 that time, though, so it's 3rd and 1 from the 43. Gateway down by 8, but marching. Leamy keeps it, and he's got the first down over the 40. Brian Carter there on the tackle.
See, the reason why he's able to pick up 5 yards on this last play was, again, the speed of the play. He's going to have the play fake and immediately makes his decision to go through that hole. There was no indecision that time by Leamy, and he picks up about 5 yards. Would have been dinged up a little bit on that play, too. You see him go down.
1st and 10 from the 39. Leamy has carried it the last couple times for gains of 3 and 4 yards. Fumble, and Leamy picks it up very quickly. Carter was in there, and so was number 54, Mark Schuler. They've been having trouble blocking Schuler that time, and Leary, with his quickness, kept the ball. As the ball's now on the 41, a loss of 2. That'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, it just so happens. I mean, he's banged up on the play before. You saw him kind of, like wincing a little bit. And then on this play, loses a little bit of focus and fumbles the snap. We've seen that a couple times from each team. You're going to get that early in the season.
Second and 12. Leary keeps it again. Gets over the 40 for a few. I think half the Collingswood team tackled him there that time, and that ball will be spotted around the 38, gain of 3. So it'll be 3rd and 9.
And this is a bad spot for Gateway in this 3rd and long situation. Leary.
Let's go, Vega!
It'll be interesting to see what type of play call they have here. Maybe they already know they're going for it.
We haven't seen a pass yet from the Gators. They only threw 5 last week against Haddonfield, but here comes Leary rolling out, being rushed, and complete to Sesko that time, near the 30, inside the 30-yard line. And I'll tell you, Shawn, that should be a first down. We'll see where they mark it.
I think they're just short. I think they're going to be about a yard and a half short of the first down, which is going to they'll probably go for it here. But this is just a simple roll out of the pocket. I'm not sure.
They're going to have a measurement. Here it is again. Maybe it's my old eyes that are deceiving me. I thought he made it.
And Sesko is just going to do a little out pattern. Follow Leary. And those two are able to hook up. You're right. I don't know, Mark. I think he's just short. I'm usually wrong on this.
First down.
See? I think the strength from Joe Sesko, and he'll even tell you this, is he's a good route runner. And he has good hands, and that gives the quarterback a lot of confidence when he knows that his receiver is going to be a certain spot, and he's going to be able to deliver the football. And Sesko there. One of the things he worked on in the offseason was long distance running. He really just wanted to get his endurance up and be able to last through the 4th quarter. 1st
and 10 from the 28. Domini bounces off and gets close to the 20 gets to about the 21. Richardson, Brandon Babylonia in there for Collingswood. That shows the toughness of Domini that time.
Yeah, Dom's just going to He's just going to come up and just use that upper body strength to shed the tackler, gain another 3 or 4 extra yards because of that strength.
Give him about 6 on that, Shawn. We'll go 2nd and 4. Just inside the 22. Gateway marching down 14-6. 4:48 and counting left in the first half. Leary keeps it. He's got open room, and he is going to go for the touchdown. 22 yards, John Leary. And it's now a 14-12 game.
All set up by that inside running the play before with Domini. There's a lot of people that went for defensive players that went for the play fake, and Leamy's just going to keep the ball himself, get to the outside. He has the Gateway band, a little shake.
Gateway called there, second time out of the half.
Timeout for the Gators. 10-play, 68-yard drive for Gateway, and just the one pass, and it's been the only pass of the half, but on 3rd and 9, Leary to Sesko for 10 yards. And you know, last week, Collingswood prepared for Audubon with Brandon Hill, one of the best quarterbacks in South Jersey. They expected an aerial attack. What Audubon did was run the ball. Brian Flacco gained 177 yards on them. So this week in practice, and I was at practice on Wednesday, Collingswood was really working on stopping the run.
That's for any defense. That's what it all starts with, being able to stop the run. Now, again, you do have to prepare for guys like Hill come in and throw the ball on you, but it's paramount for a defense to be able to negate what a team wants to do on the ground. You stop the ground game, make a team become one-dimensional, put them in third and second and long situations, and you're going to have a lot of success.
Now remember, Gateway missed the conversion kick, so the Gators are going for 2 here to tie the score. Don't be surprised if Leary keeps this one. Domini and Leamy, they hook up there, and they are not going to get it. That's looked like half the Collingswood defensive line. One of the people in there was Carrie Bird, that nose guard. Shawn, let's get a look at the touchdown.
Yeah, again, it starts with the play fake on this. We talked about Gateway's play fake and how Leamy's done a good job with it. Yeah, look at everybody collapse down on that. You still have people thinking Domini still has the ball, and you have a quarterback just shooting out.
You know, it was interesting. Carrie Bird, 67, it looked like he stopped. He wasn't sure who still had the ball or whatever. The deception that Leamy is showing is unbelievable.
Long sustained drive, 11 plays, 68 yards, capped off 22-yard scamper for John Leamy. And Leamy's interesting. You know, he's just one of those tough kids, and he's always had to battle. You know, with an older brother, Kevin, who graduated last year, I believe, from Wesleyan, he's always had to almost prove himself. His brother was a good athlete. You're the little brother. You know, you have something to prove. Don't have the great size, don't have the great strength. But what he lacks in some of those skills over the years, he's really made up with being such a hard competitor. And I mean a very, very tough competitor. And Leamy is the type of kid that you surround your athletes with, because he's certainly a leader on this team. He's a very good leader. And he always makes sure that everyone knows what to do and knows their assignments. And he just completely pushes himself. And that resonates really to the team. And that's why, you have some optimism if you're a Gator fan. It's because of the attitude of Leamy. So played football at Wesley.
It'll be Rudder on the kickoff. Amir Richardson and Bryant Carter to return.
Rudder to kick off for the Gators. Short kick.
Carter from about the 27. Carter has some room. He goes to the outside. Sesko chasing him. Carter over midfield. 50 down near the 40.
3 or 44 of Gateway.
Yeah, special teams is hurting Gateway right now. They're giving up plays, and conversely, Collingswood is pinning them back. And that's where, if this continues, this type of game, you're going to continue to have Collingswood with the upper hand. There you see him last year with that same 4-6 record that Gateway had. Of course, West Deptford, you see it 9-2, and Haddonfield just underneath them, 8-3 last year. You expect both of those teams to be in the top 2 in this division as well.
1st and 10 from the 44 of Gateway. Plenty of time for the Panthers. There's Richardson. And once again, Aquan Brown got the first hit on him, slowed him down, and that is going to be a big loss. Looks like an 8-yard loss that time.
Yeah, and Brown and Miller, the 2 bookends of this defense, although Gateway has been put in their own territory a couple times, you see what those defensive ends have done. And they've done a good job of being able to get upfield and prohibiting both of the Collingswood speedy backs to get to the outside, and it's working for Gateway right now.
Loss of 7, not 8, so it'll be 2nd and 17. Collingswood from its own 49-yard line. 3:39 and counting left here in the first half. The Panthers leading Gateway 14-12 in a highly entertaining game. And that was way overthrown that time to Inge. John Inge, the junior wide receiver, 6 foot, 170 pounds. And Hamrick just threw that right away. That was a timing type play, but as good a speed as Inge has, and he can fly, that one was a little too far.
Yeah, what it was is he just didn't get the ball up in the air enough, and kind of like a line drive. And although that's a timing play, you want your receiver to be able to run underneath, but give him a chance to catch up to the ball.
What that does, Shawn, it stretches maybe the middle. You know, that's what B.J. Jones has been working. 3 catches for 60 yards here. 3rd and 17 from the 49. Hamrick again. Oh, looking to get Richardson up the middle. Ball thrown a little bit low. And how about Brian Baldwin right there on the coverage for Gateway?
Again, we talk about a couple of these seniors for Gateway being leaders. Baldwin's another guy on that line. Kind of anchors this team. See what Collingswood does here. I'd be surprised if they're not punt and try to pin Gateway back. You see Richardson back in punt formation. Now if you're Gateway also with Richardson back there, you always have to be careful what he can do.
There's no question about it. I don't think Richardson's left the field tonight. Oh, and again, Baldwin just missed blocking that. Rudder won't touch it. Brian Carter almost downs it, but it goes in the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And I'll tell you what, Brian Baldwin, number 55, did not miss this by very much.
Look at this. That's just about as close as you could find. He almost over pursues it a little bit. Good effort by Baldwin and good effort by Richardson, almost pinning Gateway. Got a little lucky, took a gator bounce.
So for Gateway, it's 1st and 10 from the 20, 3:16 to go here in a highly entertaining first half. Hope you're enjoying high school football on the Gloucester County Educational Network. Marc Narducci along with Shawn Leary. Rudder in motion. Dominy goes off the block, and he continues to try to get yardage. B.J. Jones was in there on the tackle. I'll tell you one thing we found out tonight. Also, again for Collingswood, number 55, Vanazzi. It takes more than one person to bring Dominy down.
Yeah, he's going to run through arm tackles. You got to make sure that you put shoulder pads on him and drive him to the ground.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 from the 22. Now, if you're Collingswood and you stop them here, you might want to think about calling a timeout. Gateway obviously wants to get a 1st down and then go from there. Leamy. And again, he'll get the 1st down.
And you saw what the mistake was right there. You see Pat Landis in the background trying to call timeout for this Gateway team. They get it at 2:15 here. But you had Panther defenders trying to tackle Leamy up high.
Yeah.
And you're just not going to be able to do that. That's one of the things that these Gators have really worked at in the offseason is in the weight room. They did a good job in the offseason. I've always mentioned this, that the great teams do all their work during the offseason. That is where they have the success.
1st and 10 from the 31. That was a gain of 9. Leamy back to pass. Jones on the big rush that time. And he just gets it off incomplete.
Yeah, Taylor Venanzi, we've said his name now a couple times, and he's the reason why they had to just throw that one away. Leamy had to throw that one away. They were trying to get set up the screen. Venanzi was able to sniff that out. And if you don't throw it away, there's a possibility of Venanzi picking it off. So a nice play by the quarterback, Leamy, of realizing that and just, going with another down here and not throwing the interception.
Of course, that stops the clock. 2nd and 10 from the 31 for the Gators. They trail by 2. Up and down first half it's been. Dominy. Again, B.J. Jones in the middle of that. Also, number 56, Dennis Kelly. And we do have a Collingswood timeout.
I mentioned the changes to that Gateway coaching staff, and there was a couple guys that came over. A couple names jump out at me. John Zagone, who worked with me at the Gloucester County Times.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to John before the game. I said, "What happened? You got a real job now? You're not a sports writer anymore?"
He wised up. He wised up and went to teaching.
Yeah.
A couple of us are, I don't know, a little less.
We may be going to John's house for dinner or something, you know.
Things continue the way they're going. We have, not only, we mentioned Clark, but I think the addition of Pat Landis, who came over here. Now, remember, Pat was part of that Deptford championship team as well, so he knows what it takes to become a champion, and he's able to talk to these Gateway players, and they know that. They know that he's part of that coaching staff. It's just not talk. That he's been able to be a part of a coaching staff to win a title and go undefeated.
So Collingswood with one timeout left. This is a big defensive play for the Panthers. 3rd and 9 from the 32-yard line for Gateway. Leamy's made several big plays here in the first half. Leary will keep it, and he will not get out of this one. And Collingswood will take another timeout. And again, Dennis Kelly among the people in the pile there.
Good job up front again by this Collingswood team. One of the things that you want to do is first stop the run.
That was a gain of 1, Shawn, so it'll be a 4th and 8 from the 33.
But in this situation, Gateway's going to try and pass. Of course, the secondary is going to backpedal to start, and then you have this defensive line just getting after the quarterback.
So Gateway will have to punt it here with 1:25 left in the first half. And now if you're Collingswood, do you go after the punt? You have guys like Richardson, Carter, they can make some long returns.
Yeah, I don't think so in this case. Usually I love being aggressive and seeing aggression on special teams, but they've had so much success on special teams that I just try to continue with that. It's worked for them.
I'll tell you one thing, Collingswood's used 2 timeouts during this defensive series, very, very wisely. Well, Richardson will be the lone return man, and this looks like Collingswood might be coming after this punt.
You better believe that.
Domini.
Carp told Domini try to angle this one.
So with 1:25 in the first half, high snap that time, but he gets it off in a beautiful punt. Outstanding job as Richardson couldn't return it. It'll go out at about the 33.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for anything more out of your punter that time in Domini. You want to angle it out of bounds. Don't let Richardson get it. See if you can get some yards on it. And all 3 of those things worked out for the punter.
1st and 10, Collingswood from the 33. Now, Shawn, you put on your offensive cap here. If you're Collingswood, you're out of timeouts. You've had some success throwing those slants in the middle, but they're dangerous passes as well. I just have a feeling the Panthers may not sit on this and try to go for it here.
Especially, if they're going to probably try to get Jones involved. Again, Jones with that big height advantage. See later on at some point during this possession, doesn't try to test the rudder.
They're really splitting it out here. Hamrick on the rollout, almost intercepted that time by Leamy.
He read it perfectly. The only thing he didn't do was catch it. Looked like it went right through his hands. It's a good, strong pass. But Leamy just reads it. He knows exactly where he's going with the ball. This is a ball to the outside that just goes right, right through his hands.
Leamy kind of baited that throw. He held back as if he were beaten. He knew he could catch up to that. That's an excellent job by Leamy.
Almost worked for him.
So 2nd and 10 from the 33, and Shawn, you get to the point if you throw 3 incompletions, Gateway will get another chance. Short pass to Richardson. Richardson 35, 40, 45, midfield, 45, 40, 35, he's to 30. Richardson, he could go, he's going. Touchdown, Richardson. 67 yards.
That's a difficult spot now for Gateway going into the locker room because their heads are going to be down after that play. But how about Richardson? This kid is explosive. And what he did there is not only use his athletic ability, but he sets up his blockers well to get into the end zone. Waited for his blocker instead of cutting it to the outside, was patient enough to allow somebody to get a block on Rudder.
Let's go, Mike!
And he did the rest with his legs.
I guess Collingswood answered the question whether they were going to go for it or eat up the clock there.
But it was a good burst of speed. Once he got past those linebackers, went into the secondary.
Fernandez, and that's blocked, and it looked like, again, blocked in there by Baldwin.
That keeps Gateway within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion of being able to tie this one up. But watch Richardson here. What he's going to do is once he gets that initial burst to break through these 3 linebackers, good blocking to the outside on Leary. Good move there. Once he slips his tackle, watch it, just patience. Sets up his block there. Goes back and curls to the inside there. Gets the block. And the rest he just does with his legs. And Richardson, with that vision and anticipation of what his blockers are going to be able to do, I mean, that's something that you just can't teach.
I'd like to get another look at that. As there's Bob Baricki in 2 plays, 67 yards. You saw near the end of that play, Inge getting a great block as well. But there were a couple of really, really good blocks for Richardson, and he read it well.
Right, he's going to get all the glory from that touchdown. But, I mean, starting from upfield, just a tremendous amount of blocks. I mean, look at the one to the outside. First you get the protection. You swing it out. You got a block there from Jones. Going to get a little slip right here. And watch this block here. Watch him cut upfield. Again, the patience.
And that was a good
Get a hat on
job.
Baldwin. And then one right here.
Yeah, that was Inge there.
Inge on Rudder, and the rest is history. So
Taylor Venezzi got a good one there too, Shawn.
I mean, everyone did their job for Collingswood on that play.
Rudder returns from the 15, and Rudder's got a little bit of room as well, but Collingswood plugs it up. And again, Brandon Babylonia, first man in there on the tackle, as Rudder brings it out to the 32, 17-yard return.
Coming a little easier this week for these 2 teams offensively. They struggled with Haddonfield and Audubon last week. Gateway taking on Haddonfield, which,
Tell you what,
again, tough team.
Haddonfield held a very, very good Woodbury team to 7 points last night, so that's a heck of a defense Coach Frank Delano has. So a lot of teams may not be scoring around them. Leamy keeps it over the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Schuler in on the tackle. Gain of 5, so it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 32. And Gateway just may be inclined to just run this thing out. Although you can never go to sleep if Leamy has the ball. That's for sure.
A few years ago, we had 3 or 4 straight games. The team scored right before halftime. Just might have lost some focus defensively.
Brown over midfield, and he gets down to the 45-yard line of Collingswood. 18-yard gain for O'Quan Brown that time. 3 seconds to go, and there's a flag on the play.
You get a hold on Gateway, and I'm sure they'll just sit on it here with 3 seconds left.
It looks like the flag came at about the 42, so Brown would get a gain of 5 if that is the case.
A hold on Gateway.
So it should be 2nd and 10. Actually, they're putting it to the 33. Make it 2nd and 9 from the 43. This should be the last play of the half. 3 seconds to go. It's been up and down here from Collingswood. And Leary will take a knee. And that ends it. So it's been up and down. Two teams showing a lot of offensive capability here in an entertaining first 2 quarters. We'll be back for more at halftime. It's Collingswood 20 and Gateway 12. And welcome back, Marc Narducci along with Shawn Leary here as Leary will take it from right about the 15-yard line, and Brian Carter makes the tackle. Showing couple first half stats: Gateway 9 yards passing, 144 rushing; Collingswood 125 passing, 5 rushing. Hamrick 4 for 9 for 125. B.J. Jones 3 for 57. Richardson, of course, 1 for 67. And Leamy, 9 carries for 58 yards for the Panthers. Our thanks to Jeff Filinick, the outstanding statistician for Collingswood. He's been doing it for a long time and does it about as well as anybody.
Yeah, I mean, the spread offense for Collingswood has worked pretty well. The big
Wow, Gateway has to eat a timeout in the first play, Shawn.
That's not good.
Just to recap things, Hamrick scored on a 1-yard run for Collingswood. Fernandez the point after kick. Rudder a 17-yard run. The kick failed. Collingswood on up 14-6 on Amir Richardson's 4-yard run and Fernandez kick. Then Leamy went for 22 yards to bring it to 14-12, but Gateway failed on the conversion run. And then Amir Richardson on a swing pass from Hamrick and took it 67 yards with just 55 seconds left in the first half.
I talked to dejected John Zagone coming out of the booth up here. He's one of the assistant coaches for Gateway. And he said, we worked on that play in practice 100 times this week, and we don't stop it there. And really, I mean, that really changes the complexion going into the locker room. Again, Gateway with their heads down a little bit, as opposed to being tied score by 8.
Leamy, Jones, up to around the 25, close to a gain of 3.
That's where coaching comes in, Mark. Because going into the locker room, you're feeling a little down on that when you let up a big play and you go down by 8, but you're down only by 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and you get the ball back at halftime. And that's where coaching comes in. So listen, we get the ball back to open the half. Let's go down, drive and score, tie the game up, and get back into it in the second half.
Big John Miller, 6'5", 220, number 74 for Gateway. The tackle has been impressive on both sides of the ball here tonight. 2nd and 7 from the 25. Boy, Collingswood playing like 8 in the box, almost off sides, and they may have been. They may have jumped. Little anxious to stop that run, and it's... So that'll be 2nd now and 2 from the 30-yard line. I think that's kind of the effect that Leamy has on you. You get a little rush happy here.
There's a lot you can do with 2nd and a yard and a half. You can go possibly do a little play action here. Try to get a quick strike. Now, that's not Gateway's type of offense. But you put yourself in manageable 2nd and short situations.
Gateway only threw 2 times in the first half. 5 in the first game. Leamy still has it, and Hamrick made the first hit on him. He's close to the first down. Boy, Hamrick, there you see him, Eric Hamrick. has made a lot of tackles coming up from the secondary. So it'll be 3rd and about 1.
What I like
oh, no,
about
make that first down. Sorry, on the spot.
Sorry. What I like about Leary is when he goes wide, he doesn't cut wide. He doesn't go completely east and west. He kind of angles himself and uses his body kind of leaning. So this way, he's always going to pick up a couple of yards because he doesn't just try to get to the outside and go completely wide on that play.
Rudder. And Rudder was stacked up that time. It, again, looked like Venezzi.
And Rudder here, you see, nowheres to go on this play.
Now make that Hamrick. Look at Hamrick. He's about as sure a tackler, isn't he, as you'll see? Gain of 3 that time. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 35. Gateway trailing 20-12. Early here in the 3rd quarter, 9:32 left. Rudder in motion. Domini. And again, met by the Collingswood line. Looked like Bryant Jones in there, also Schuler. He'll gain of 3, so it'll be 3rd and 4 from the 38-yard line. Key play right here for Gateway, and in these situations, a lot of times, Leamy has kept the ball. We'll see how it goes. 3rd and 4 from the 38-yard line. Gateway trails by 8. Leamy, option! Ball's loose. It looks like Collingswood has it. The Panthers do. Looked like Schuler on that first hit. Marc Schuler.
Yeah, it looks like it was Schuler. That nose guard who put on some weight during the offseason, got a lot stronger. Makes the initial contact, and you can see a little hold going on there. Like it just slipped out.
Actually, that was a great replay. It was Venezzi that time on the hit, causing the fumble. So now it'll be the Panthers' ball. 8:33 left here in the 3rd quarter. Collingswood 1st and 10 from the Gateway 31. Hamrick in the shotgun. Hamrick, he'll run it. Oh, and Big John Miller slams him to the ground. If you saw that play, Shawn, it looked like he was looking for John Reed, number 15 on that pass. Reed didn't look up, so Hamrick went the run.
Yeah, and I think he also saw defensive back maybe peeking. He didn't want to make a mistake there, and Miller just eats him up. Jay Mills coming from that outside. He's a big, strong kid.
Loss of 1 that time. 2nd and 11, 32-yard line. Collingswood leading it 20-12. Richardson takes the handoff across the 30, inside the 25, gets down to about the 23. Aquan Brown on the tackle there.
Miller looks like he might be favoring his shoulder a little bit.
Gain of 9, so make that 3rd and 2 from about the 23-yard line. Big play for the Panthers here and for the Gateway defense. I'll tell you what, these teams have left it all out on the field here tonight. What an effort. Richardson in motion, gets the pitch. Brown was the original one to force him outside. But he'll get the first down. Leamy down there at the end of the tackle. He'll get down to about the 20, a gain of 3.
That's a nice job by Richardson. We've seen him use his speed to account for some points. But watch him here. He's going to get to the outside, and he's going to use some strength to will himself to the outside sticks and get the first down.
You saw 30, Brown, stretching it out a little, and then Leamy coming in to make the tackle.
And Leamy got a hold of him, and it looked like he might have been able to stop him before he got the first down, but Richardson is kind of warding him off and able to move the chains.
Hamrick in the gun. Oh, and he is crushed that time. Eastlake that time really put a hit on him. You know, Shawn, there's some option principles there that time. Hammer could have. Watch us see this. Go ahead, take it away.
Excuse me. Yeah, let me see here. He has a chance there where he could pitch it to Richardson to the outside if he sees the defense collapsing on him, but he chooses to try to muscle it up. But I like what the Gateway defense did there, stacking the middle and finishing on the play as well.
2nd and 9 from the 19. Collingswood up 20-12 and marching. Bryant Carter, and again he runs into big John Miller and actually drags him close to the 15.
Stay low and drive him out here.
Make that the 16, gain of 3, so it'll be 3rd and 6 from the 16-yard line. Shawn, I know we're redundant here, but John Miller has just been a force here tonight.
Yeah, there's been a couple of guys who have stood out. John Miller, Venazzi on the opposite side on the line. These guys have really stood out in tonight's game and making plays. And this is going to be a spot here on third and about 6. And John is going to try to pressure the quarterback for sure.
Hamrick on the rollout. Hamrick has some room. Over the 15, inside the 10, down to inside the 5, and he has the first down. Eric Hamrick.
Watch here. Leamy's going to make a mistake defensively here. Is he's going to allow Hamrick to get to the outside. He looks like he's going to cut here, and he makes the move to the outside. He bit. Leamy was the last guy on the outside there to stop him from the first down. He's going to have help from some of his friends if he does cut it back inside. You saw a couple of Gateway Gators trailing on the play.
Sesko on the original hit. It's now 1st and goal from the 5 for the Panthers. And this has usually been Richardson time. We'll see how they go. Richardson inside. That play took a while to get going, and he fumbles. Gateway has it. Gateway has picked up the ball. Eastlick looked like made the first hit, and it looked like Sesko had it.
Ball popped out, and I'm not too sure. Leamy might have been around the play as well, but watch Richardson here. Now, he's just fighting for extra yards. You can't fault him for being aggressive. You got to protect the football, though, and there's a shot from Leamy, and Leamy's able to jar that ball loose. So we just talked about Leamy possibly making a mistake on the play before and not being able to contain to the outside. Again, one of the leaders on this team doesn't give up on the play, doesn't get down on himself, makes a play and is able to get Gateway the football back by jarring that ball loose. Now they're backed up in their own end, but plenty of time here in the third quarter to engineer a long drive, make up that 8-point deficit.
1st and 10 from the 4. Leamy hands it off. That was a dangerous handoff that time.
You're going to get 2 guys in motion on that play.
There is a flag on the far side of the field.
Dominy that time on the carry. Didn't gain anything.
Illegal shift, I believe, is that rule on Gateway.
Illegal shift on the Gators.
Had 2 guys moving on that play. The fullback kind of leaning up and took a step ahead, and then you had the receiver coming in motion.
With a gain of 0 that time, Collingswood declined the penalty, so it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 4. I think Leamy's going to keep it here, Shawn. And he does keep it, but he is tackled. It looked like Dennis Kelly was the first one in there.
I think Venazzi might have cleaned him up, though. It looked like double 5s.
Wow, that's a loss of 3. So it's 3rd and 13 from the 1-yard line. Dangerous situation for the Gateway offense. Of course, Leamy's capable of breaking a big one, and you know Collingswood's certainly aware of that. Brown, and he is just stacked up. He will not get very much.
Dominique. Panthers hold on third down, brings up about 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Eric Cortez. Haven't mentioned his name too many times tonight, but he's at number 73 right in the middle there on that defensive tackle spot, and does a good job.
Yep. 4th and 10 from the 4. Dominique punting deep in the end zone. Carter and Richardson have been very dangerous on the return teams for Collingswood. Big punt for Dominique. Oh, and he gets a good one off. Richardson falls on it, and the ball is inside the 40 at about the 37-yard line.
And Dominique's done a good job punting. Can't really ask anything more from him on that right there. I mean, you get yourself now to the, bring it out to the 38. Collingswood's going to have it in Gateway territory, but be a little bit nervous and shank one there. And Dominique's able to not only get it out, but no return for the Panthers.
Collingswood 1st and 10 from the 37 of Gateway. 2:42 left in the 3rd quarter. Panthers leading 20-12. Carter that time over the 35 to about the 34. Now make it the 35 now. Gain of 2, so it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 35. Well, this Gateway defense is really stiffened when it had to. We'll be asked to do it once again.
Yeah, going down by 2 scores where Collingswood looked like it was going to punch it in last time, that was key. Now you got to make a defensive stop here. You're only 1 score down. Going down by 2 here late in the 3rd could be catastrophic to this team.
Hamrick back to pass and overthrows that time. And Shawn, you called it earlier that kind of slant over the middle. Collingswood's gotten receivers open with that.
Yeah, they certainly have. And you also mentioned earlier, even those plays that maybe aren't connecting, where you throw the ball up, you throw it away, it'll stretch the defense back. And the cornerback does not want to get beat deep. You're kind of one-on-one with yourself out there, and it doesn't look good for you. So in the back of their minds, they're already there. Then when you stretch it out, they got that little hesitation, and they're finding some open players. Now, they haven't been able to hit too many of them, just the one to Jones earlier in the game.
Here's some advice, 3rd and 8 from the 35. I would block John Miller right now. Option to Richardson over the 30, 25. Richardson, he's off to the races. Touchdown, 35 yards, Amir Richardson. How about that on the option?
And it's, again, talk about the option, the timing play of going fast with it. You don't want to hesitate too long. I mean, that thing was snap, snap, bang, and he's gone. There was no hesitation, getting executed perfectly for the Collingswood offense. And once Richardson gets in that open space, he's a quick 6.
It'll be Mario Fernandez on the conversion kick. Hamrick on the holder. Kick is up and it's good. So with 1:47 left here in the 3rd quarter, it is Collingswood 27 and Gateway 12.
Now watch how there's no hesitation here. Now we talked about this little option play, but suck in the defender and then just pitch it out to Richardson. He's going to do the rest. And now there wasn't even a whole lot of blocking downfield. They just didn't read that play well enough. Once they committed to go in and go after Hamrick, it was smooth sailing for Richardson. Richardson getting some looks, some interest from Rutgers and UConn, Notre Dame.
As good as Richardson has been, running the ball, he's a really good defensive player. He's a first-team all-conference performer on the defensive side of the ball last season. And he's one of those guys I think you recruit and you say you let your coaches fight over him, offensive and defensive coaches fight over him.
You know, and he's an interesting story too, Mark, because it came from Camden. Mother was a single mom. He had 5 brothers and sisters. You know, not having that father figure, and I'm sure Coach Barikian has certainly been one of those instrumental male figures in his life. It's just not having those 2 parents. That is a tough situation for any kid to overcome. And Richardson's done it the right way. He's doing an outstanding job on the football field and getting some notice. His mom played soccer.
Sesko from the 14 over the 30 and gets just to about the 30. Where Richardson in there also making a nice job is number 20, Maurice Butler, 5'9", 165-pound junior. And we have a player down on the field, Shawn.
That's Richardson.
It looks like a cramp the way they're doing his leg. I mean, I don't want to act like a doctor here, but I don't know if the guy's been off the field. By the way, we had mentioned that Collingswood was 4-6 last year. The difference between 500 and being 4-6, minuscule. In a consolation game, the Panthers lost to, there you see Richardson coming off now, Bob Ricking. They lost to Pinelands, Shawn, 21-20 in double overtime. That's the difference between being 500 and not.
And, you know, anything less than a championship for these kids is somewhat of a disappointment, especially for seniors. But, you know, the fact that you could get to 500 just makes you feel just a little bit better when you assess it and how the season went to you. And you're right, but it's a play here, it's a play there, and that can be the difference in you having that 500 or better record. Richardson is just trying to stretch it out. You always see that early in the season is plenty of cramps, especially guys who play the whole game.
Yep. Leamy, and if Leamy could have broken that one tackle, he might have gone to the races.
That's why early in the season, teams with depth, Mark, really have an advantage.
Yeah.
Because you got the heat, guys are dehydrating, they're getting the cramps, they're playing all game for some of these smaller schools both ways. And it's so important to hydrate yourself. You see it every time, every single year with different guys who just seem to over and over have that problem.
2nd and 6 from the 34, 105 and counting here in the third quarter. Collingswood leading at 27-12 over Gateway. Brown takes the pitch over the 35, 40, down to about the 41 as he's tackled by Brandon Babylonia.
Now, I usually like patience with your running back to try to set up your blocker. When you're out on that outside and you don't have no one around, you got to go full speed. And that's the only thing Brown does wrong here. Other than that, I mean, look at this play fake. That's just a terrific job by this Gateway offense. But kind of setting it up here, you're not going to shake and move too much past your defender there. And that's Inge on the outside. What you want to see from Brown there is just get your burst of speed and try to get upfield.
Gain of 7, 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Leamy keeps the ball, gets out to the 44 for a gain of 3. Carter on the tackle.
And I don't want to say nothing negative about Brown because it was a good run. It really was a good run. What's the difference between what he did and what Richardson's been doing throughout this game is Richardson knows when he needs to set up his blockers, and then he knows when he needs to turn on that burst of speed. Now, some of that is just God-given talent. You got to be able to have that reactionary movement when you're a running back.
And that'll be the end of the third quarter. Again, an entertaining quarter, which was highlighted by Richardson's 35-yard touchdown run. Collingswood extends its lead 27-12 as we get ready for fourth quarter action. Gateway 2nd and 7 from its own 44-yard line. Gators looking to get back in this. Leamy. And he'll have to hold on to that one. B.J. Jones, the first one to hit him that time. Carter was in there as well.
And number 56,
No gain that time, so a big play for Gateway. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 44-yard line. Just one score here in the second half. That was a 35-yard run by Amir Richardson. By the way, Richardson, who went out of the game with what looked like a cramp, still not in the game. Inge playing back there in the secondary. Hamrick as well. Hamrick's had a tremendous game. Actually, both sides. Sesko on the pitch. He picks it up. And he's trying to throw it, and it's incomplete. Wow, there's a dangerous-looking play. Looked like a flea flicker that could have gone dangerous for Gateway. Instead, it's just an incomplete pass.
Yeah, they just tried a little misdirection there. I think Sesko was supposed to throw that on the play. They had Brown streaking downfield, and I think that was going to be a reverse into a pass downfield from Sesko to Brown. And it just got messed up from lack of concentration and making sure you get the football first. And again, it's kind of slow with developing as well. Sorry, Mark.
From Gateway's perspective, it's almost better that he did throw the ball because that could have been a big loss. Jacob Dominy for the punt. There'll be no return on that. And Shawn, by the way, Carrie Bird, number 67, pretty good rush on that punt. Looks like the ball will be at around the 18-yard line. .52 left in the fourth quarter. Collingswood up 27-12 on Gateway.
Carrie Bird is, a kid that's, I know, inspirational on this team. Great sense of humor. He lost his mother at the age of 14. She passed away in 2007. But he keeps a real spirit on this team. And all these guys really like him. They think he's just a funny guy and keeps things loose.
Carter running for extra yards, gets out close to the 25-yard line. And he does get to the 25. Gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 25. But by the way, it looks like Richardson is back in the game. Nope, I'm sorry. It was B.J. Jones. So you have to think that Collingswood's really not thinking passing right here. They're thinking of establishing the run. Remember, only 5 yards rushing in the first half for the Panthers. Carter, first down, 35, 40, over the 45 as he's tackled by Brian Baldwin, but the first down for Bryant Carter.
You're going to see here, now Gateway's starting to tire a little bit defensively because you're going to start seeing more arm tackles as that happens. They don't move the feet much. You got 2 or 3 guys just trying to get to the, drag him down by his jersey, and that's just not going to work for you. And that's usually a sign that the legs are starting to slow a little bit, and you're not putting yourself in good position.
Gain of 21 yards that time for Carter. You would have to think with Richardson out, he'll get the bulk of the carries here. Carter again cuts up the middle. Eastlake gets the first hit as he gets close to the 50-yard line. Call it the 49-yard line, gain of 3, 2nd and 7 for the Panthers. Now remember, Collingswood started this drive on its own 18-yard line. 10:52 was left on the clock, so Collingswood's looking to eat up some clock here.
Oh yeah, they might have this spread offense, but right now they're thinking control the game, keep it on the ground, keep that clock moving.
Hamrick, he'll keep it. And he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Sesko Ryan Wilson was the first one to hit him, number 33 for Gateway. This will be an interesting play call here if you're Collingswood. Do you put the ball in the air? 3rd and 7 from the 49. I kind of think they may roll Hamrick out and give him a pass run option here.
You mentioned Wilson. He's a transfer from Gloucester Catholic. Had to sit out the whole football season because he transferred from Catholic to Gateway.
Well, they're not sitting on it. It's Hamrick to Jones. Jones inside the 35. It looks like he'll have the first down.
It's a high percentage passing play right there onto the outside. They just use Jones using that big target.
First down it is. So that'll be at the 43-yard line of Gateway. That was a gain of 8. First and 10. Jones, 4 receptions, 66 yards right now for the Panthers. Gateway was offsides, I think, looking to blitz that time. Miller got a little over anxious.
Another stop there. Scored this in. Pennsville 35 up for 28.
Oh, they were pushed. They were drawn off that time. So it'll be first and 15 from the 48-yard line of Gateway.
5-yard penalty on Collingswood. Takes the ball back to Gateway, 48-yard line.
Collingswood has to be careful. You know Gateway is going to try and tackle the football if they get the chance, try to get a strip. So Collingswood's going to need to secure it.
Hamrick going deep for Jones. Jones catches it. Touchdown! B.J. Jones, 48 yards from Hamrick.
You remember earlier in the game, same situation where Hamrick had that timing pattern. We said, he wasn't able to float the ball. That time, nice job by Hamrick because he's just going to float it and allow Jones to get up underneath, but after he makes his move on the defender. Hamrick has done real well, both with his legs and throwing the football tonight. And I think this is a game that, I know they got a tough one next week, but this game could really give him some confidence going into this week of practice.
I'll tell you what, he hasn't been too bad on defense either. Fernandez on the PAT try, and it is good. So with 7:05 left here in the fourth quarter, Collingswood now in command, 34-12 over Gateway. Shawn, that was a 7-play, 82-yard drive for the Panthers.
Need some time as well. It just appears to me, although I know Gateway did a good job in the offseason of working out, it just seems like the conditioning right now with Collingswood a little bit better than the Gators. They seem to have a little bit more burst here in this game. It looks like Gateway tiring a little bit with some of those guys going two ways. It's not an overly hot night, but it's 74 degrees. You got full pads on. It can wear you down as the game goes on. And Collingswood with an extra step here in this second half. Mentioned Coach Barikian coming into the season with identical 119 wins, 119 losses. 1991, it's the best year for this Collingswood team. They went 9-1-1, went undefeated in the conference, lost in the semis to Hamilton. And then in 89, 8-1, lost to Woodbury by a point in the playoffs. Coach Barikian went to Glassboro State, now Rowan. Coach as an assistant coach from 74 to 79 at Pittman High School, and then came to Collingswood as an assistant for a couple of years.
Excuse me, Shawn. Sesko from the 15. He'll get out to about the 30-yard line on the kickoff.
Coach Barikian started as a head coach in 1984. There you see Richardson still trying to stretch out. get back in.
So Gateway, 1st and 10 from the 30. Leamy keeps it.
Tackle just short of the
Just
first down.
shy of the first down. Leamy just inside the 40.
Yeah. Now you have to have either a loose tooth, Mark,
Taylor to Nancy.
or something to be able to get this
Couple other Panthers.
to be able to do this. Watch. Now he's going to just turn a little bit. Now watch this. Usually he goes straight out. Look at that from the side.
Did we
What
just,
are we-
wait a minute, did we just replay that?
Some things you just got to look at again.
I'm not sure that was one of them. But anyway, 2nd and 1 from the 39 for the Gators. Leamy back to pass. We haven't said that very often. Flag down, could be a holding call. That's incomplete that time as Rudder was the intended receiver, holding on Gateway.
See, I don't know how he did that. I don't know if he's got a loose tooth or, little space in between there. I don't know how you do that. I'm going to find out, though. That was... Yeah, I mean, look. It doesn't look like he's got any chiclets missing. He's had a heck of a game. Richardson's a real nice player here at Collingswood. Gateway really didn't have an answer for him defensively. Couple of touchdowns tonight, some big plays, including that backbreaker right before the first half ended. Took a little screen pass, went the distance. Gateway looks like they don't put some points on the board in a hurry. They're going to drop to 0-2. And a date with Paulsboro next week. That's not going to be easy. Rudder's going to walk off here under his own power, so that's a good sign. I think he might have been experiencing some cramps as well. Just good to be back doing football again here at GCIT.
Sure is.
Gloucester County Educational Network has taken over, or Comcast led off, and nice job by John Mondelli, who's in charge of the program over there, knowing how the community here wants to see local high school football on its cable system. And Mark, I know you and I are very fortunate in the gang to see our guys again here this year. We weren't too sure if we were going to be able to do it.
No question about it, Shawn. Leamy incomplete that time. And Mike Bunkowski, 58 of Collingswood, putting on the heat that time. Shawn, I'd like to amplify that point. Anyone that has enjoys watching high school sports, a real big hand to John Mondelli. Works at Gloucester County Institute of Technology, and he's really been the driving force in keeping this coverage going. So, and by the way, tonight is John's anniversary.
Yeah,
John
happy
and
anniversary,
Wendy.
John.
So, happy anniversary to them.
And I'm glad to see that, a guy who really was instrumental in having high school football here, Stan Ritter, who's also in the truck director tonight. Over the years, maybe Stan, we always come on here and you hear our voices, but really Stan Ritter has been the driving force over the years to bring you local high school football coverage and all the other coverage of sports. I couldn't fake too many people out because no one was there. A play fake to some open space. There wasn't anybody there to have that fake, so somebody blew an assignment. And I know how much this community loves its local sports. I was in Subway the other day getting a sandwich, and a nice woman came up to me and says, "Hey, are you going to put High School Sports Report back on the air?" And I said, "Yeah, we're going to try and do our best to do that again." And she said, "Good, because I'm Josh Kerr's grandmother."
Well,
Josh Kerr was
Shawn,
a West Upper kid, and she says, "We love what you guys do over there, and it's great that you acknowledge the kids."
Domini on the punt. Bird again with a big rush. Fair catch by Hammer.
And so 45-yard line. That takes over first and 10.
Of course, Shawn, as you know from being in the newspaper business, as we both are, these are a lot different times in the media and all around, and you know what maybe some of us all took for granted before, not that way. So, but there are still a lot of people that would like to get the word out about high schools, like to cover them, and you know, we'll let it play out. It's like a new quarterback for Collingswood, Paul Henry, number 12 in the game.
Collingswood draws his first time out of this half.
By the way, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the big guys on the Collingswood offensive line. Jake Tackett at guard, along with Eric Cortez. Taylor Venazzi, who we've called a lot on defense at center. Mark Schuler, Tyler Strickland, the tackles. They've done an outstanding job for this team tonight.
You're absolutely right. And they really, their game is strength as it's going on here deep into this game. This game has matured. You've seen that offensive line kind of take over and pretty much dominated here in this second half. Venazzi, I mean, he's been a special player tonight. You had to give a game ball out on the defensive side. Venazzi's the guy I'm giving it to, along with Hammer. He played well. But Venazzi disrupted a lot of play in that Gateway backfield.
Collingswood 1st and 10 from the 45, and the subs are in there. And that was number 34 for Collingswood, Dorian Alcia. We have a flag down. Holding on the Panthers.
That's D Nice. Get a chance to carry the football here. Good decision to cut it back up. Again, that offensive line doing a nice job. Dominique coming up, making the hit. Wants to get into business management. You know, one of the things he really prides himself on is not fumbling the ball. He just really, you see him there cover it up. And every running back, you'd love to see that from.
By the way, I think I said Paul Henry is the quarterback. It is Henry Paul. Ian, the announcer, on that one. But anyway, Paul's just a sophomore, and Bob Barickian is telling me he really likes him, and it's just that Hamrick, who played last year as a sophomore, has got the experience, is a great leader. That's the thing you saw about Hamrick tonight. He's just a great leader on both sides of the ball. And Coach Barickian said, you know, he's been in so many big wrestling tournaments, both in high school and outside of high school, that he knows what a big situation is tonight. And Collingswood viewed this as a must-win, and as we mentioned with West Deptford next week, you can understand why. You don't want to be 0-2 going into play West Deptford. Talked to Clyde Folsom, West Deptford. They 37-7 win over Lindenwold. He wasn't happy. Of course, Clyde never is, and that's why he's such a great coach. Well, said his team really wasn't gelling the way they should have. Again, looks like some offsides. We have reserves in, certainly for the Collingswood offense, and procedure that time on the Panthers.
Yeah, I think, and that what makes him good is he's never satisfied with your team always shooting for perfection, and that's what makes him such a great coach. You know what? And I just talked to him as well. He's having a blast. He said, you know, with his group that he has this year, this is just a good group of guys that, you know, they're having a good time, and he's developed in his coaching to do some things and to keep it loose. He says, you know, pounding these guys over and over again. He says it's just not fair to the seniors. You know, you lose a couple of games, and then all that, you know, building up is just not fun for these guys. And he has changed that, and he's trying to make it fun for them. And I think that is the mark of an excellent coach, is always changing it, trying to keep it fresh, and knowing to say, listen, I don't know if I was doing this the right way. Let me try to change it up.
By the way, that was LC, a gain of 7. It was the 2nd and 18 from the 37-yard line. Tell you what, I'd be a little happy if I had his stable of running backs, Jimmy Owens,
You know, there's a lot of
Fearon.
people- there's a lot of people that are jealous out there when they see somebody with success, you know. And
How about
ball
that?
comes a little short.
Incomplete that time. Is
Give him a chance to throw it up. I mean, he's in there to try to get some game day experience as well. But you know how people are, Mark. You know, we hear it sometimes. Just people in the stands sometimes will say, you know, they always think that the coach is not doing the best possible job, and it might be for personal reasons. Getting to know some of these guys like Coach Folsom or, you know, Coach Karp or Coach Baricki, and any of these guys, these are good guys that are the heads of these football things. You look over all these, Coach Pidcock, Coach Marquez, Coach Barchuk, you know, Coach Oreo. They really try to do the best for these young men, and I always say they are a credit to the community, these football coaches. All
Paul
coaches.
rolling. Look at that downfield. Who was Paul chased by but the 6'5", 220-pounder John Miller, and we have a late flag here. I wonder if it's another personal foul. So Paul gained 11 to the 47-yard line, and we'll see if they tack on 15 after that. You know, you don't want things getting chippy at this point.
And Mark, I say this, and I honestly, I really, really mean this. Is sometimes that gets lost in what the coaches do. You know, talking with some of these guys, they don't get to see their families. They don't get to see their kids sometimes because they're helping, you know, your kids out and trying to get the best out of them and trying to do right by them and doing their job. They're not getting paid an extraordinarily large amount of money, and that might go unnoticed sometimes. I think they need to be thanked more often, and just saying, you know, hey, coach, thanks for what you're doing out there.
1st and 10 from the 39 now. I'll see it. Goes right up the middle. Gains a couple. Tell you one thing, Collingswood doesn't lack skill position players. That was a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 35.
And you can do that to your local sports writer as well, too, Mark. If people want to go out and say, you guys are doing a great job and pat us on the back, you know, once in a while, feel free.
Tell you what, make one mistake and the email box will be filled.
I know you get plenty of them thinking that, man, this one guy, Leary, he is a moron. Yeah, but sometimes you say moronic things. You get excited when somebody spits out of the side of their mouth like that and say some stupid things, but no.
That was Maurice Butler that time. Aquan Brown on the tackle. That was a loss of 7 that time, Shawn. So make it 3rd and 13 from the 42-yard line.
I guess my point in the whole thing is it's football, it's a game. You know, in 10 years, it won't really matter that much. And I think more people put a little too much personal feelings into it sometimes. And then there's others that really do appreciate it. And there's plenty of those. It's those few that you hear a little too much from that it takes a little of the good nature out of the game sometimes.
Miller sacks Paul. Coming in late that time was Matt Lewis, but it was Miller who held him up.
John Miller. This kid is going to get some looks. It's been some really, really nice individual efforts by Gateway tonight. They shouldn't go unnoticed. Certainly, we talked about Miller tonight, but Leamy has had a real nice game. Rutter's had a couple of nice plays.
I think Collingswood may run this down and get a 5-yard penalty. I don't think it really matters at this point.
Not at this point, right.
Oh, actually what they did was they ran it down. Instead of getting a 5-yard penalty, they called a timeout.
Yep. You've mentioned East Slack a couple times tonight, Mark, and Galloway. Domini's played well. See Baldwin 55 in the middle there.
Jones had 5 catches for 112 yards.
Collingswood was just 1 or 2 steps better than them as this night is going on.
Second half.
There you go. Panthers breaking something off, right?
Shawn, I understand you have some moves like that on the dance floor.
Oh, yeah. I'm a freestyler, Mark.
So this was a really entertaining first half, and it was a very competitive game, and then Richardson gave Collingswood some breathing room with that 35-yard touchdown run in the third quarter. That increased the lead to 27-12, and then, of course, Hamrick to B.J. Jones. Another flag, by the way, here.
Now motion again on Collingswood offense. Into the game, the punt for the Panthers. Nick Anthony.
So Collingswood probably doesn't have many 4th and 23 plays in its arsenal, so the Panthers will punt. So a job well done. Again, a week after being shut out by Audubon and
Much anticipated player of the game.
then having to take on West Deptford, and Gateway doesn't have it any easier either, having to take on Glenn Howard's Paulsboro team. I saw them last week, Shawn. They look as devastating as ever defensively, and you know their offense will come along.
Doesn't get much from the roll. Down by number 69, Urban Ray.
You got to believe Paulsboro's got that chip on their shoulder right now, with Glassboro now being the team over the last couple of years, the team to beat in Group 1,
And this
and having a streak of their own.
This just in, Glassboro is going to contend again.
Touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
He also had 14 yards.
Yeah,
rushing and 1
they're another team. Just retooling. Coach Neilio has done a fine job as a coach over there. He's got good people around him, good leaders on that team. But they'll have their hands full if they run into one of these Colonial teams with Paulsboro. Who knows what Woodbury will do? Woodbury's a talented team, but I think Paulsboro is the team to beat at this very second.
Aquan Brown. Gets over the 40 to about the 41.
Number 30, Quan Brown. Just 8 on that play.
Sounds like that Pennsville-Gloucester game. Some points going on in that game as well. That Pennsville team taken over by Ryan Wood.
How about Ryan Wood?
He can coach anything.
His debut, he beats Deptford. He beats Deptford 21-17, and all the commotion was about Samantha Dimitri, the outstanding place kicker for Deptford, who booted a field goal. There's Ruddo, but again, we'll have another flag. And Shawn will be going down to the field as we'll have a talk to some of the Collingswood personnel for the post-game show.
5 yards. And the announcer of the day besides me is Marc Narducci. Doing a fine job on TV commentary.
I think I just heard my name by PA announcer Doug Schmidt saying something there, and I think it was actually complimentary, but the ball will go back to the 29-yard line. I was declared announcer of the day. I better go to John Mondelli and see if that gets me a raise. Anyway, it's been great. Back here broadcasting and showing the fans of Gloucester and Camden County high school football. Brown again. Brown chugs along, and that could be the last play of the game. So it's been a really well-played game. I think Gateway can take a lot out of it as well. I mean, the Gators gave Collingswood all they could handle for the longest time. I think the Collingswood skill players were the difference in this one, and the depth of the Panthers. So that's it. The Panthers have won 34-12 to even their record at 1-1. Gateway drops to 0-2. As we mentioned, Shawn Leary down on the field, and we'll have a post-game wrap-up right after this timeout. And welcome back. There you see Collingswood defeating Gateway 34-12. Down on the field is Shawn Leary, and he has Bob Barickian, the head coach, along with Amir Richardson and Eric Hamrick. Shawn?
Thanks, Mark. And we're here with Coach Barickian, the winning coach for Collingswood. A nice win for the Panthers tonight. And after getting off to a rough start against Audubon, what's the message that you tell to your team, and how do you think they responded tonight?
Well, the thing that we spent all week is working on our mistakes, getting better, getting a little more aggressive. We're a young team. We worked our tails off in the offseason to get to this point, and we're going to get better every week because we have some talented players, and we just have to cut down on our mistakes. And we told them if they did that, they'd be successful. We were tonight.
It helps having a guy who can quarterback a team and get into the spread offense, and that must be fun for you. I know you've been coaching here since '84, so you run some different offenses here. How much fun is this for you?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I mean, we went to this offense because of the players we have. You know, BJ, the wide receiver. We got two great running backs. We got Eric to control what's going on. We got a young offensive line that's coming around. So we're really excited about it. I mean, that's why we went to this offense, because of the talent we have, and they showed well tonight.
Well, best of luck against West Upper next week, and congratulations tonight, Coach. And we're here with the guy who's controlling this offense. And Eric, nice job tonight. Not only doing it with your legs, you're getting to do it a little bit with your arm. You're not a stranger to pressure, being a wrestler. How does that help you on the football field?
Well, in wrestling, we had a lot of big matches, and
It's got to help you because you've been in pressure situation.
Yeah.
The quarterback spot is definitely a pressure situation. You kind of equate those two and go hand in hand.
oh yeah, my dad helps me out wrestling, helps me like at home too. Just pressure, knows it was a big game. Had a rebound from Audubon, and just came out there.
You had a heck of a pass on the sideline to Jones. Congratulations again to you, and best of luck as the season goes. And I'm here with Richardson. The explosion from this man's legs, pretty unstoppable tonight. You look at this Gateway matchup, and you got to be smiling. You got the speed. Gateway not a team with a great deal of speed. You had to smile when you look at this matchup, right?
Oh, of course, because when they have that 3-5 defense, we know we're going to beat them out when we get to the numbers. So my outside receivers blocking B.J. Jones and John Inge on the outside, really helped me get out to the sideline and beat them down the field.
I know you had some cramps, and while you're on the sideline, we had a chance to see you, and we even slowed it down a little bit, where you're able to take a little bit of water and spit out the side of your mouth. And I'm saying that maybe he has a chiclet loose or something. How's that happen?
Well, I got hit with a baseball a couple years ago playing Little League, and I have a unitooth, so the water, instead of coming straight out, comes out to the side.
So there it is. Now there's the secret. You have to get hit by a baseball in order to do that. Well, I was amazed by it, but I was more amazed by your athletic talent. Congratulations to you. Good luck against West Upper in the rest of the year. And Mark, there we have it. Back up to you. We know how he does it.
All right, Shawn, thank you very much. A little bit of arithmetic. Hamrick, 6 for 12, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, passing, 1 rushing. B.J. Jones, 5 receptions, 112 yards. Richardson, 10 carries, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing, 1 receiving. And for Gateway, Leamy, 16 carries, 78 yards, and a touchdown. So that'll wrap it up here from Collingswood. There's your final score. The Panthers 34 and Gateway 12. For Shawn Leary, this is Marc Narducci saying thanks for watching and have a good evening, everybody.